everybody, this is Starman, and welcome back to Let's Play Betrayal at Krondor. Well, last time you remember, we got started seeing to the defenses of Northwarden, which the Dark Elf armies are about to hit. We've poisoned some rations to throw a wrench into the invasion plans, and sure enough, having just come up this road, we have run into yet another ambush. Thankfully, the witches do not seem to have seen fit to attack us directly yet, which means we have a fair chance of being able to get an evil seek off. And yeah, Patris is not going to be much help swinging at this guy. But he decided to run for it, so we'll let Patris rest up a bit. Oh, but he's running back. Alright, so with that done, let's see. They give the non-archer some true sight tea. 4, 5. That'll save us healing up a bit. See, there was one more goblin. And all that. Oh, wait. And the second witch just had the torch. Okay, well. Anyway, we were heading southeast toward the camp on the Teeth. And, yeah, as I noted before, the combats in this chapter are a little bit more difficult because they're a lot more frequent, being crammed into a smaller area, but they're also a bit more intense, with the enemy having much better armor and weapons than they've had until this point. But we did manage to catch our enemies off guard this time. So we'll go ahead and move James to try and protect Patris a little better, for all the good it did us with that one running all the way over there. And he's poisoned on top of everything else, so we'll try and get him over here. Okay, well, thankfully I've got just enough strength to get an evil seek off. And did not manage to click that one to attack him. Thankfully, I think these guys have lower hit points than the usual moredhel soldiers. And Patris got poisoned, but that's why we stocked up on the antidote. And yeah, we are going to be majorly stocking up on the healing potions to keep this old guy up. Thankfully, at this point, nearly all of the enemies also have they also have healing potions upon them, or items that we can sell off to make a quick bit of cash. And poisoned rations. And we'll give Locklear some more poison arrows, though he hardly needs them at this point. Since we're never going to leave this area, we can go ahead and leave this to pick up later, because I'm going to try and avoid doing the inventory management as much as possible, because I know that's kind of boring for you all to watch me do. And it looks like we got trolls that way, who we managed to surprise. Actually, wait, no, those aren't trolls. Those are sentinel ogres, but thankfully, they've just got one witch among them. And they had not come near Patras, so... Dead. Dead. Well, not dead, but the witch is dead. And that was far easier than it had any right to be. And what the heck, we'll take the poison sword this time. And we'll give Patras the magic items to hold on to. Except the spider. Yes, let the magician hold the magic things. What a novel idea, I know. And that seems to have exhausted James's hammer. Well, it exhausted that hammer. Oh, because that was the one I just picked up. Alright, and poison the blade. And we're ready to go on. Now, this does beg the question of where these guys are getting these blessed weapons, since we saw there's only one temple in the Northlands, and it's a evil one. And I don't think I ever came this way before, but there is a cave mouth here. And I am cheating a little bit coming here, because we are going to need to go in here eventually, but I am going a little bit out of order on this. Okay, so we have our grid here. Now, we could obviously go through this pathway, or, you know, we're supposed to push this, have it hit that, and then run back that way, but we can save ourselves a bit of time here. First, by having me rest Patras all the way up to full. And that's apparently the most we're going to do. Okay, well, you might remember that we got a new spell that I don't think we ever had with Owen earlier, that we found earlier, called Black Nimbus. And what this spell does is, for every point you put into it, you have a chance of being able to deactivate trap crystals. So we can just cast that spell, have James run over there, and boom, we're through the trap. And, okay, I didn't think we'd gone here, but the widow Halfgate greeted them at the door. Come in, she said warmly. They entered their house and made themselves comfortable as she prepared some tea. While she worked, she told them of the soldier at Northwarden that she had her eyes on. He's hooked, he just doesn't know it yet, she said with a grin. James smiled back, not knowing whether to envy the man or pity him. They spoke for several minutes and finally turned to leave, thanking her once again for her hospitality as they left. Okay, I guess we didn't come this way before. So back onto the main road, and if memory serves, there actually is an ambush right on the road to decamp on the Teeth itself, with a group of soldiers right in the middle of town, and, well, one before the town, it seems, so run on in, and they saw us coming. And this one may be over before it begins, if... But thankfully the witches did not cast a spell, so we'll just focus on keeping Patras out of the way as much as possible. Yes, good. Leave the wizard alone. And now he's poisoned and near death. It seems like the whole party's been poisoned now. And oh shoot, Locklear's near death. And James cannot hit the broadside of a barn. Okay, well, just occurred to me, I don't think I've gone into inventory too much in the middle of a fight. And still got 9 left in that pack. Finally! And Patras is still poisoned. But we can't actually do anything directly about that. And healing, and healing, and healing, and okay. Yeah, we won't bother with the armor, because that's ordinary armor in any case. And actually, I'm going to drop all these arrows, because... And yeah, 1 ration. Let's see, we got that one, we got that one, and we got that one. Okay. And yep, there's another one. Oh. And nothing in the dirt pile. Okay, well. Charge! And that, yeah, they saw us coming, and oh goodness, this is a rather sizable horde of them. Okay, we'll try and put James. That puts him right in front of the moredhel magician, who paralyzes him. Okay, by some miracle, they all ignored Patras, so... And I can't get a shot at the ogre to where this will actually really hit him. Thankfully, the only person focused on me is the archer, so... Okay, it didn't actually move, so maybe I can... Ah! Yeah, I guess once it lets you in the inventory, you have to use something or that's it. So now I've got Locklear having to fight all of these guys, which probably not going to happen. So let's... Okay, we at least took the magician out. And one of the magicians just cast the blinding spell on me, so yeah. That went south in a hurry, didn't it? And we're right on the village, too. The enemy was not surprised, but James still gets to go first. Well, at least I inspired the magician to move rather than attack. Now, sometimes a lot of these fights can come down to just plain dumb luck and the randomness of what the NPCs will do. And we just poison that one instead of keeping the frost enchantment on it, which I don't think will change the price that much. Okay, I think that does it for them. Okay, so some more rations. Alright, well, fair bit of profit there. And yeah, for those keeping count, this is 3 encounters, 4 if you count the trap, that we've had just trying to get down this one road to the one village. And yeah, here's the attack right in the middle of the village. And they were not surprised. Thankfully, there's no magicians this time. Alright, this is going to be calculated risk. Because I'm poisoned, so next round I should be able to use an antidote while I'm here. And I forgot to cast it on the ogre. I should still be able to work through this quickly enough. Okay, so take the antidote. And I don't have any healing potions, so we'll have to hope that everybody else can get to Patras before that moredhel does. And yeah, I could totally have ended this if I'd managed to take, if I'd zapped the ogre instead of the dark elf. That's why we always gotta pay attention when we're targeting our enemies. So yeah, a fair bit of gear there. might remember this shop from before, the Grumbling Magician, which sells a surprising amount of useful magic items, which he has no use for the items that are magically enhancing the weapons. And he will not take the magic weapons. Will he take the magic potion? Yeah, he will take that. Okay, well, I'm going to buy Patris one of these. Which, okay, Patris does not have the charm to do that. I think James might have a bit more luck. Actually, let's see. Haggling 85, 64, 39. Okay, we'll let Locklear haggle for the infinity pool. Which, okay, we managed to get a few off of that. Now that item is going to become very helpful for Patris in a couple of fights that come up later, and yeah, they won't take the weapons. And okay, we can't get the healing potion. And we will go ahead and buff up Patris's spellcasting capabilities. Because shockingly, Patris does not have the Flame Burst spell. Night Fingers is not going to be too helpful, so yeah, that unfortunately will not help us too much. Oh, but so is all Luton's Concentrate that we requested from earlier. And we'll go ahead and pick up a bit of Fathom's Formula, which we are going to need very shortly. And we'll go ahead and get more spells later on. Or get more items for Patris later on, because there are going to be some combats where, as you've seen, he won't be able to get spells off, but if he has a magic artifact, he can just go into inventory and use that and do a fair bit of good. Okay, so with that done, we're going to go ahead and head southwest a bit more. And there's something that's getting ready to ambush us on the end of town. And yep, we were ambushed. Though thankfully this is not a tough combat as far as what we've been encountering so far. Alright, bit of gold there. Rather nicely blessed broadsword there. Spoiled rations. And one more ambush this way. And mostly witch hags, so we'll camp up healed before that one. And they were not surprised. And can I target that one? I cannot. Okay, witch is down. And yes, I'm clearing the road so that we'll have less of these repetitive combat sequences to deal with later. Because eventually we are going to get a message about not needing to go any further to the west. James stopped. He shook his head and turned to the others. This course is futile. We will gain nothing save West valuable time. We must turn. If we continue to travel in this direction, we must turn back. So, yeah, this is the furthest west that we will be allowed to go. And been here before. Now, thankfully, this does prevent you from wandering around aimlessly, as there's only so many places you can go in this chapter. But I have known where we've needed to go all the time in our search for Tammany. I just want to clear the road. And yeah, no new encounters, but we can go to the inn, which doesn't open till noon. Because, of course, where would a bard on the run go but to an inn to try and make a bit of quick cash? A man invited them to talk. A quiet, amiable fellow who was missing 3 of the fingers on his left hand, he smiled as James and Locklear told some stories about their childhood together in Krondor. When they at last began the story about the minstrel Laurie who became the Duke of Salvador, the man nodded but interrupted them when they claimed that he was the best minstrel that ever lived. "I'm sure this Duke of yours is quite talented," the man said, "but a long while ago a jongleur played here, the match of which I've never heard." Immediately Locklear and James exchanged a meaningful look, then looked back to the man. "What did this minstrel look like?" James asked. "Young, attractive, rather tall, as I recall," the man said. "Have you seen him before?" James nodded. "If it's who I'm thinking, then yes. Do you happen to know what became of him?" "Not certain, but he was asking about a place to put down for the night. One of the other patrons that was in here told him that a Franklin nearby sometimes leaves his barn open for travelers. He might have gone there." Making a mental note of all the man had said, James began to rise from the table when another man tugged at his sleeve. "Another thing. The man told me the door to the barn sticks quite a bit, and that he might not be able to get the door open. It takes quite a strong man to get it to work sometimes." "I'll keep that in mind," James said. "Have a good day." So yes, that's our hint that wherever this barn is, we're probably going to need some help in opening the door. And if you'd guessed it was this barn over here, spot on. Now, thankfully, because of everything I've done, Locklear actually is strong enough to do this. So we don't need to use the Fadimir's formula that I bought, but that is actually the little hint that they give you about how, oh, you might need a strength potion to get this door open. James pushed on the door of the barn but refused to budge. Despite the fact that there were no locks visible, the wooden door remained securely closed despite the efforts repeated attempts to push it open. Finally, after a great deal of struggling, innumerable grunted curses, and with a giant whinnying screech, the rusted hinges released. James motioned the figure across the room. The man walked to join them. He stood before them, shifting nervously. I didn't think anyone would, come after you? Pah! I should have known it. You come a prancing in Northwarden with that little twanging box of yours, and you sing a blue streak about honor and glory. But when it comes down to it, you ain't got the picture. Instead, you got this yellow streak. You never stand and eyeball your problems face to face. You let other folks run you around. One day, someone's going to run you right off a cliff. I'm the one who's telling me to leave Northwarden. Me. That's Tammany the Minstrel's decision, not someone else's. I'm making the decision to live. The moredhel done run you off, and they ain't even been here yet. Done a better job on you than any duke or baron you ever crossed swords with before. I'd not be a coward like you anyway. This isn't fair. I'm a minstrel. What good would I be? I don't know how to use a sword. I don't know how to heal wounds or direct a battle. I'd just be in the way. What good would I be? I'm just one insignificant man. Not so insignificant, Tammany. Before I went to serve in Krondor, my father used to advise me, when you have earned your title, be sure your minstrel is well paid. I hadn't a clue what that meant until I saw the battles of Armengar and High Castle and Sephanon, and ever since. When men sit and listen to songs about great battles, they remember men like themselves faced terrible dangers and emerged alive, and that gives them hope. Sometimes that's the only thing an army needs. But why do they have to depend on me? Why did fate arrange it that I was the minstrel who happened to be at Northwarden? We aren't going to force you to go, Tammany. It's your life, your decision. If you choose to leave, that's your own business. Can I request a favor of you before I make a final decision? Yeah, he wants to phone a friend. Anything, if it will set your feet on the road to back to Northwarden. There's a cave not too far from here that is known as the Diviner's Halls. Within there are several small stones, called pattern stones by geomancers, which can foretell a man's future. If you return with one, I will make my decision. Geomancy? Pah! Should have figured you'd go for that husgum-posum. Just another way of getting someone else to make the hard decisions for you. Quiet, Patras. We will see what we can do, Tammany. So, we have to go to the cave to try and find a pattern stone. And if you're guessing it's that one cave we walked by earlier, the one cave that we've encountered in this area, well, congratulations. But before we go into the cave, I'm going to run around and sell off all this gear that we've gotten from the enemies we've fought in this round, because we're going to need the cash shortly, even with the considerable amount of money I've already got. And that is what we will begin with next time. We'll see you then.